Hi guys, my name is Chava. I'm part of the Wonder Park community. So in our community garden, you can see a little Runa Writing exhibition. What I wanna explain to you what's history behind and how it's good connecting to our neighborhood community university. If someone is interested, the teacher saying is many dead language there, and the modern Christian history, the last 1,000 years, we have not so much connection with the pagan era and age. This exhibition is a bit against this opinion. Is We have lots of things to learn from the first big cultures who was making pyramids, not only in Egypt. So China is full of pyramids, the Mediterranean is full of pyramids, and even the Native Americans can show a really good example. Probably some television channel like a Neo Danican like a group, they was explain how is the first big religions is talking about age when we're living together with Anunnaki or angels, or so is it looks like the religious book full of maybe it's a fairy tale, maybe not. So is this Runa Writing exhibition is try to showing a lots of question about how those cultures was sharing knowledge with each other. Is Daniken is watching the buildings, and even after Daniken, there's other architect engineer going around and saying, "Wow, this is the same technology." Especially, we would be happy to make some research to understand how they build that huge buildings for the same purpose. So if they find a solution to make a room cool, and they would start to use it for burial buildings, this technology is quite quickly jumped to the Indian continent from the Mediterranean. Or even if you go to Machu Picchu and wondering why is the city or the garden which is connected with the terrace is the top of the mountain, 1,400 or even 2,200 high, and looks like that was a seaside, one chapter of the humanity. So is the Runa Writing exhibition is showing you a kind of connection between the cultures, which is an extra added collected information, not official. So probably some university teacher gonna arguing with us if we try to say that's the same. Today I gonna take only one symbol, but we're gonna jump continent by continent, and sometimes it's gonna be like 2 or 3 or 4,000 years between the two culture, alphabet, knowledge. We have in England we have a local connection with this, so we have a kind of Gothic, probably Viking, probably Saxon alphabet before the Latin. It's just a short historical period. It's when the Roman story finished, and another Latin alphabet based story starts very slowly. It probably takes 600 years to accept this alphabet that promoted in a school. So we not really explain how was the chapter of when the local population was using the futark. The futark is not only an English alphabet, is the looks like the language family. So the German languages and Nordic languages like Danish or Swedish or Norway, they also write things on there, and that's a question why this alphabet was created. Is if we saying this is that Gothic alphabet which was created by Wulfila for write the Bible for the Germanic population. So where is the Bible? It looks like we have only other texts, looks like in a decorative connection, or more connected with another religion or other mythological background, which is the Thor myth, the Eddas and sagas written, or that's what we have left over with this alphabet. So it's basically, today I'm gonna show you only one letter of, not just from the Futhark, but because this is our local interest, that should be a good start to explain what we're talking about. So first, probably you know this symbol is the 6th generation. If they doing that, that means for us peace. So John Lennon and the hippie generation was choosing this symbol for explain something which is that kind of hope to beat. It was a movement against the war, but also it was a big cultural change, and that's it. So after you can sing some John Lennon songs for me if we met in a garden, but that's a good start. So actually we're talking about this symbol, which is like a 3 something with this background. Basically, is my point of view, the alphabets have connection between each other. So it came from another alphabet, which is more a middle end, and the middle end is definitely explained by the ancient Greek authors. Definitely Herodotus was fall in love with the middle end people, especially the Greek, saying they came to us and they was force us to make alphabet, because if you have a writing system, after is possible to educate doctors, philosophers, architects. So is with a big knowledge, which is with a phone book size knowledge, better if you write down things instead of just memorizing everything. And the Greek reporting, the Scythians was teaching us to write, or forcing us to develop an alphabet. And that's why is, for example, the Greek, same as then Futhark people, doesn't matter they Viking or Germanic, is they was forced by the Middle Land people. And how was the meaning of this original symbol, which is back to 10,000 years back, or probably 30,000 years back. These symbols, many of them, is in the Stone Age. So the cave people was using so many symbols of the Scythian alphabet. That case, that culture is a really deep history, not just 700 years somewhere around. The age of the Greek or age of the Latin, they are a short chapter of the history. And they know cultures which have a longer. And looks like the Scythian people was sharing that kind of knowledge with neighborhood. That's the point why we using the garden to explain this kind of connection. The original symbols, they full of religious topic or something really important knowledge, which is the importance make it religiously in focus. That's why the alphabet is another nation happy to get the idea. Basically, they see the picture because they're pictures. And it doesn't matter how the original language saying, what does it mean, they saying their own language and using the first or the last letter, and that called acrophony. So this is the way how possible to follow the knowledge sharing alphabetic bloodline. So first, this symbol in a Scythian, Hun or Hungarian or Transylvanian alphabet, it's a young grass, which is Zhenge. On the French alphabet, if I say Gérard Depardieu, the G, they're using the G as J. So the Zhuzha is a women name. So Zhenge mean young plant. So it's something coming out because the spring giving a hot sun to a seed in soil and the new life start. This is the Zhenge about. Before I show you the footer connection, let me show you something which is, I don't know, it's coming from Stone Age or really just, it's happened 800 years ago, 1200 years ago, when the Native Americans moved to the continent, changed the continent, and basically looks like they was bring these things to with there as a package. So it's not only the alphabet, but also isn't about 60 symbols, which is religion symbols, they was go there. In a garden, we was using this Acoma Indian ways, and look at the fingers of this kind of penguin goddess or I don't know. So this is the same thing. So in a folk art, that could be the same meaning. So when we have these three things, and it means young grass, for our ancient people it means a hope, a new year, food for animals. Doesn't matter if we're hunting or we have a group of horse or a group of cows, something, sheep, doesn't matter. It's really important things. So that's why even the Acoma Indians is honor this message. Then the Grandma University is share it with the next generations. And these symbols, that's the way how it's surviving in Kyrgyzstan, in Apache environment. So is worldwide, really worldwide. That's what we're gonna show about. So we need to go to the Acoma Indian Festival and speak with them. We already find a lots of language connection with the Native Americans, such as the Greek, like Herodot definitely reporting the Scythians is from America. They're using the word Eritrea, but after that they're explaining the Scythians talking about the great ocean is possible to shipping around from west or from east. And Herodot saying, I don't believe it. But this is the evidence. So when someone bring the full alphabet connection or this kind of, not just 20 or 25 or 35 used as letters as well, but as religious stories is more like 60 approximately. And I can show you just one Acoma Indian Kachina form, human form, when on a collection there is 25 or 35 already. So it looks like they was teaching the next generations that much story. So let's say the second one, futak. So I was explaining what is it already. On a futak, if you open the internet, the alphabet, some versions, sometimes the j is used as z. Not a big distance. I was explaining to you in French, the j exists, Gerard, but in English, not really. Ginger, no, not j. So is something different. Mostly the futak explain this symbol as R. So we're supposed to find a young grass in an old English language, a R connection. It's not only in the English language. When I was thinking, this is grass. And check this theory to step to the continent, and if the Flamand language is between the English and German, then step to the German, step to the Scandinavian languages, even Estonia, that stuff, even the Latin have the same symptom. So there is a voice before the R. An invisible hairball, so it's the R straight away after the hair. The grass in the Flamand language is start with this, and after ras. So it's even in French, in Swedish. So you can see then when it's going to the plain land, so it was middle of Szkítia, the main river, the Dnieper, was reported by the Greek as Boristen. Boris, the prime minister, was wearing this name. In Hungarian, is definitely means God, Isten, God, Boristen. The bor is wine, but if you go to Transylvania, you find a local mineral, little river in the mountains, and they saying borvis, which is wood wine not coming from the body of the mountain, so it means bor, such as in Celtic. So it's another connection. So that's why it's showing the Zsenge in this European language group, even the Latin including. The R is standing as a acrophonia connection, so the first letter taking. That's not the best example because not the first letter, but look at the other list and probably you're gonna forgive me if I choose the second one. Is the other Runa Writing group is there is, as a futak have an older futak and another, so we have futak 1 and futak 2. On a Turkish Runa Writing they have a 2 version which was used on a middle Szkítia area, so in Khorezm, Bactria, around the Aral Sea, around the Caspi area, north of Black Sea. And on these alphabets, this is ch sound, because a young grass is chemel. So that's they just, again, you choose the first letter. The Hungarians was living together with them, so that was Szkítia. We, in many cases, even in a modern non-Hungary, the middle land is Cumanians, so they was keep the language for centuries. Then right now they assimilated people, and if it's happened so many area of Szkítia, so around the Himalaya, around Ordos, or even the Indian Hun history, we have many language connections. So if I say a branch of flower or parsley or something, this is csokor, csomó. So the chimin is even close to the Hungarian language, and we're gonna find more connection. So that was a futak. This is the Turk. Even 1, 2, 1, 2 is this age when this alphabet was raised up and survived a couple of centuries, not so much, probably 2, 3, 4. So it's basically on the area, this new alphabet was bringing new religions with a full book, like Sutra of Buddha, or before that, the Christianity was going there. And with this kind of waves, when the new teachers was bringing some new, again, a phone book size, well-organized information, that would coming with a new alphabet, and that would ruling the age, and let the futag dead, or let the Turkish alphabet dead. Finally, the modern Turkey, for example, they're using the Latin alphabet. They adapted like 150 years ago. And that's how the age of the Turkish futag was just stopped somehow, such as the futag. Even in Hungary, not so much people can use this traditional alphabet. So let's go to the beginning of the story. This is explained in our garden. This is the Hun turtle, and on that age, when the Chinese writing system starts, so the age of Kuwei, the Hun symbols and the Chinese symbols have a massive connection with each other. The Chinese logic of writing still standing on the using the writing as pictures, which is a language independent. Let me say to you my favorite example of this. When you explain this kind of things like a young grass, it's easy because you're copying what you see. But how you gonna explain emptiness? So it's a common sense. So like if you show emptiness for people, everyone gonna know, oh, easy, yeah, I'm gonna remember forever. And they find an easy way to explain words, which is not really easy to explain. The emptiness looks like there is two walls, and between there is the nothing. This is the R in a Scythian or Hun or Hungarian alphabet, because when we say nothing in a cup, for example, this is ur. The emptiness of the room, ter. Or emptiness when I'm looking around in the Mongolian grassland and I can't see anything, literally. So not in 10 kilometers or 30, or I don't know how is my eyes capacity. This is not ter, is ret. So the R, it means that kind of conception of emptiness in many, many, many ways. And when the Chinese adapt it, they do the same. They have many words and many, many things which is coming. We're gonna jump back to our main topic, the Zhenge, so the young grass. If the Chinese is put a little bit other logic behind, that one is even the language echoes. So when the Hungarians saying Zsenge, the Chinese say Sheng. And what does it mean? It's meaning the same. So when a power of the sun giving a blast of the seed and something coming out, a new life, that is same symbol, same word, same meaning. So that's an evidence for us. even if it's growing away. And for example, let me show you another Chinese symbol, which is that word. So they put more added value on this. So the grass and the plants looks like this. They're going there and there as well. Then so looks like they put the leaves to the tree or something. And with this kind of little changes, they jumping topic by topic. So the herbs is also tea or peace or music. So is there's a Chinese alphabet about. So from these basics, they just using the logic to, if could have a connection, they keep it and try to explain everything as logical. So again, there is many, and after it's a lot of symbol, like how the Chinese, the original Chinese logic saying grassland or just wheat. So we have the young grass on the top. We have the R in the middle. So the land behind the grass. Wow, such a clever way. And what is behind it? So the cross is a really important, literally religious symbol for them. It's the story when the human was created. On original Bible, which is translated by a card, so it's much deeper than the Torah and that stuff, probably 4,000 years older. Not Eve was created, Adam was created. So is Eve, which called Heva, she was created for river from the Eden as a bless. And this is the cross about. And this is really important for the ancient religions, for many. So in Ordos, in Mesopotamia, in Egypt, in North Africa, the Berbers know that. Or even when I go to the cemetery here, there is not so much traditional Christian cross. The cross looks like this. Because looks like the story of Adam and Eve and the creation of the human was a well-known common sense for us, and we was remember with this. So we was shared with the Grandma University, was teaching about the origins in many culture here as well. So is the Celtic is still saying a river goddess Donna. So the Diana is that kind of connection. And the Scythian alphabet is basically, this is D. And if you go to Transylvania, they're using that kind of cursed, pagan cursed, don't tell to the priest. So they saying the Donna gonna punish you. So they, because in Hungary we was living together with Celts even there, just open the phone book and one of the biggest group of the family names, Gal. So you can see, and when I was say Borvíz is in Hungarian is a crazy idea. You mix the wine with water. Are you okay? And the mountain gonna do it for you. No, it doesn't make sense. But if you know, we have a common history with Celts. So we just saying double in Celtic logic, Bor, in Hungarian or Scythian Víz, and put it together and use both language. And even the alphabet connection is showing. So the Dana is possible is the Duna, actually, when they was living here. And they was moved, they still pray for the same goddess. But this is a kind of pre-Christian conception. I know we learn in a school and even the church saying Jesus was born and forgot what's happened behind, but the alphabet's showing lots of brotherness from the Bronze Age, from the late Stone Age, even with Native Americans. So that's why we set up this exhibition in a garden, because I want you guys to read these things in school or in NGO groups or even with religious groups. And I would be happy to see more brotherness internationally in the world village. So it's basically this kind of collected information is coming from that book was published in 1992. The main scientist who made this is István Szekeres, and the leader of the group is Géza Varga. His book is in English as well. So is symbol by symbols. They check this acrophony situation between the neighborhood alphabet. So what's the next one? The next one for me is a really important alphabet, is the Etruscan. One of my favorite alternative historian, also an architect guy, who is going around the Mediterranean megalithic buildings. So Gary Birkliff is showing the Etruscan culture is not that short than the Greek or the Latin history. So it's not just like 500 years or 700 years. It's a massive 3,000 years story, connected with the Mycenae, connected with the Hittite. And basically, when the media and school teachers saying the Greek and the Latin is a real start of the high developed European cultures, now so the Celtic or the Etruscan age is a bit longer, and even the buildings is more full of knowledge. And when a Latin first time write a statement for us, still they're using the Etruscan alphabet. So that Etruscan was teaching to write the Latin. So it's not fair when the school teachers explain the Greek Latin age as a fresh start. They have nothing alone. So it's many things is coming, alphabet coming, the full architect knowledge, which became a half in the hand of the Greek or Roman. So that's Gary explaining. The old one is more modern, which is quite strange. And when Deniken saying the early cultures have brilliant solutions on architects, we should learn more about them. Especially in this age, my first qualification is agriculture. So I'm a qualified veterinary nurse. And when the green movement saying the modern agriculture is destroying a lot on soil, and we making not that good food when the originals was made. So that's another reason why a garden community try to turn our face to the original cultures, because even we challenging ourselves in this age. Can we become a knowledge-based society? And I think we failed, so we're not really going in that direction. That's what we want to explain, and that's why in our focus those cultures, because probably on food production they was there, and even their buildings was more developed than the next historical chapters. So I already explained the grass situation. Is when I was show you István Szekeres, he is explaining the Germanic runa on R, because in Old German, Reisen is the young grass. So this thing what we're looking for is possible to digging after, probably also in Old English is the word section, or even the modern language, not really saying, oh, I don't understand what is it, so rise. So we was explaining the Chinese as a Sheng and this one is herbal. I don't know how it's herbal. I gotta look after if you want. Herbal music. Or this one, this one I remember, it's Chow. Again, is a connection between the shaman. Then let me explain to you another really interesting. So it is basically to make an alphabet. We try to explain letter by letter the voice. What we're saying is a quite late idea. So if the human history is like 30,000 years long, this is coming in the end, the last 3,000 years from the Etruscs probably. We have this start. On Egyptian writing is exist. So the Egyptians have the main hieroglyphs. So if you go there, you see a lot in the temples, and if you see any burial place, the walls gonna be pictured like this. But practically on paper, they was more used hieratic alphabet, which is a handwriting version of the hieroglyph, and they have another one which is totally similar to the Scythian Hungarian line. But this is a demotic. But this one is not really used to produce text. Even the Etrusc finds around the Mediterranean is more a lot of it's called tamga, and this is showing what was the function for the first societies to using alphabet. You can see on a horse, this is Mongolian, so they also used Zhenge, or maybe bit more grass around. And my daughter called Zhenge, and if I'm telling that for a Mongolian, they know, a little river, okay. So it's something nature fresh meaning. And when the age of Tamga, using letters is, for example, one reason, if my name connection with, in this case, is a mark, this horse is mine. So that's why it could be two things together, like, let me magic something. So if I take my R sound and I put here to unite the R and J, if my name initials just connecting, then it's practical. In Switzerland, we have some Hun villages. They was go to the mountain and they was not keep in touch with neighborhood. And they was use it, this kind of Tamga Runa writing, so the Transylvanian Runa writing, because they have a community oven, and the shelves of the oven, the bread, it's possible to mix family by family, unless on the top of the bread they put their own initials. So what we have in Mongolia, in horse. After later, the king was putting like the Kushan Empire coins. It's full of tamga, so the king is put his mark to the coin. So its habit is still standing. Oh yeah. It's very important on a modern law as well. It's coming from the ancient Scythian history. So I forgot to show you the garden. Last year we had a beautiful corn. You can see we're doing some any idea what we can do in Sunday, which is fit to 2 or maximum 3 hours. That's how we try to maintain the garden. So back to the Runa writing topic is behind, so between the Egyptian hieroglyph writing logic and the writing system, which is based on the letters basically, there is a syllabic logic. So a word could be divided to small pieces. The Japanese kanji or the Korean system writing just take the vowels and try to make something ka, ke, ki, ko, hu, ke, and try to make a symbol for every syllabic position. And in Europe, so it's pretty much the early Etrusc age or before the Etrusc, but it's also the Creta or Mycenae. The Minoan culture is standing for 3,000 years, and they was using a pure syllabic system. Probably they have a genetic connection with the Koreans and Japanese. So a nation who are already using writing system, probably if they move around, they bring the memory or the knowledge. So the Grandma University is that effective. And is one of my favorite Mycenae example is a cartouche, which is we just start with a fox. In Hungarian, the fox is róka. So if I want to make it syllabic, so the row is going to be important for us. But on the top of the fox, there is a symbol which is almost totally similar than our symbols, but as you can see on a hairball in the Chinese, they have a sprout on the top of the young plant. And especially the sprout is called bimbo. So in syllabic is gonna be B. Same. I need to write down here. Then already the 2 syllabic giving us a full word, biro. The biro means judge, court. And the full text is following. The Hungarian is an agglutinative language, so we can put a suffix and another one, and the meaning is just building up for something. Is on one side is also in Egyptian hieroglyphs is the leg itself, and in Egyptian is, so in Hungarian we're saying láb, so in Egyptian is b, but in a Mycenae they use the other syllabic part is al. So when I say lab is la, but the proper syllabic is need to be that direction. So the vowels is after, and because of the first sculptures was confusing about we write like this or this or this or this way, and sometimes they was using whatever. So is when you want to read an Egyptian text, you need to looking for a god or goddess who is starting the text, and when this guy turn his face that direction or that direction, then this is the direction of how you want to read. Such as the Etruscan text, they start to read from here, then next line, continue. So they're changing the direction. Somehow it was logical for them. So on this one, you can see the especially is coming, so is all, be, ro. This is a ancient tools to lift something is called sarogya. Be, ro, sha, and they have a kind of worm or snake there, which is can be ki or gi, lista or ki yo. So it's all together, all, be, ro, sha, gi. So this is the logic of syllabic. In a if we get the coffee next to us and we're gonna do Sunday schools for teachers and try to play with the old alphabets and a little bit involve them for a bit focus on history or come to help us in the garden. We already have a 6-year-old man who just when digging potato, he's saying, I want to be a farmer. So, and that's what's the garden for, so get some connection and involve especially youngsters. The Egyptian alphabet is mainly syllabics. So we're gonna make a bit artificial collection because what's wrong with the syllabics in the Egyptian alphabet, sometimes they're using 3 sound. And if I want to make stems 300, that's too much. So just make a kanji type, B, ki, gi, gi. So it's kanji type logic. It's not going to follow 100% how the Egyptian was using the symbols, but it's going to be easy to say the kids, hi guys, you need to write on syllabic logic. You can use letters if it's necessary. Even you can use picture logic writing system. But how the Egyptian was thinking, if they have a box, you need to fill up the full box with symbols. That's the reason why they use letters, because it's making your numbers a bit bigger. Or if you're using one symbol for a full word, that make you more place on your box. And when it's filled full totally, you're ready. So there's a challenge on produce your own Egyptian writing. And after, when your stems in a box, you're gonna take one piece of maybe original papyrus. Then put your paint and put it to a wall. So that's one of the plan to making connection with the children as well, or even adults. I call myself a cheater. Look at look at what I'm reading and what I'm thinking about. For us is gonna be a lot of education. Probably I try to make myself a bit more shorter next time, but try to get connections. Is the last thing what I want to explain to you is the Egyptian connections, but just a small example because they have so many. So in the hieroglyphs growing, like the Middle Empire was using like 350 symbol, and the New Empire already like a Chinese, like 5,000 symbol. So maybe no one will follow it. properly. And they have lots of connection with Zh or raisin or grass. Let me show you some example. They know we're gonna do the permaculture boxes. Wow! So we were so famous 5,000 years ago. When they're doing that, it means digging. And if they grow up something on there, that means sarj. What's the sarj means? Zsenge. So was a spring. So is or but. So is some when it starts. That does it mean? And they have many symbols which is following the 1, 2, 3, and the meaning have a connection. How did I check? Do we have Egyptian dictionary or something? The problem is we have many. So the Egyptology starts to read the symbols 150 years ago or 180 years ago, when they find some Greek names written in Egyptian as well, and because the Greek name was known because of the Greek text, we start to understand the letter face of the Egyptian alphabet. And after they analyzed the Copt language, so probably they was living in the same age as well, so at least as a minority they was speaking with the Egyptians. And that's how, for example, Gardiner is made a big list about his team, what kind of theory, symbol by symbol, how does it sound. Still, for them, the Egyptian is a dead language, so they're not reading the text. But there was a big archaeologist in England, Sir Leonard Woolley, who was find the Akkad and Sumerian library in Iraq, so the Babylon and that stuff, and was digging a lot, find a lot. And he was thinking in the ancient time, the Mesopotamian and the Egyptian and the Carpathian Basin culture, the Etrusc Pelasg is including. He was thinking, because of the symbol similarity, possible it is same language, same culture, same religious knowledge background. And the architects guys was saying the megalithic buildings is a common sense, not even for them, with the Native Americans, so with the Totonac, with the Maya, and the early Indian cultures like the Kushan and Nephthalite and the Indus-Scythia. So it's behind the Sanskrit, this knowledge is there. So that's why I try to explain these bloodlines in language and the alphabet topics is possible to follow. So I bought a book when he translating or transliterating, so reading the Book of Death. So I opened this book. Let me find a good example how we can work with this. So when he reading the text, so it's just when he going down, using numbers. So that's how I turn it to a list of syllabic alphabet, or how do I know this symbol means sarj, and that's how is going on that statement which is in the Book of Death. So it's coming from this book. His name is János Borbola. And probably if I'm gonna go deeper and deeper in this issue, I'm gonna show more and more and more Egyptian topics, because it's really exciting, symbol by symbols. Right now I just show you one example, but I'm gonna show you another 12 and if someone interesting. And basically, if you're gonna do more community event with neighborhood, definitely 3 times a year I'm gonna say, kids, come around and make your own Egyptian text, and get some spinach from the garden and get more connection with our past. And remember, people who was try to involving you and give you a good afternoon in Sunday, just want you believe we can be a knowledge-based society in the future. So see you around. See ya.